again, I say welcome, my friends, to John's Sports Corner. And this beautiful day, it's not as cold as it was yesterday, but it's going to be cold in a couple of nights. We say welcome again to John's Sports Corner. And again, I must remind you and thank you, our listeners, our watchers, and our supporters. Please share the video with your friends and your contact list. That's the greatest thing you can do for us right now and for our community, because there's so many people who are just discovering that John Sports Corner is on Sosofat TV. As I've been chided by people who told me that I never sent it to them by email. I've been chided by people who told me that they never got it by WhatsApp. I don't know why, but save us some of the chiding when you get a chance, and just share it with your friends, because it's going to be one thing in our community that we never had before. Someone who is dedicated to give us an update on sports as it impacts not only us as an individual, but us as a community, as a city, and as a country. So thank you so much for tuning in. John, again, I say welcome to John Sports Corner, your Sports Corner.
Thank you so much, Trevor. And yes, if it's Wednesday, it's time for John's Sports Corner on SosoBone Media Network. Good
Yes.
afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Welcome as we head into my favorite time of year, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas.
Oh,
But
yes. Oh, yes.
let me remind you, you may go to Winner Circle Sports in the SosoBone shop and purchase your choice from merchandise as listed. There are t-shirts, there are mugs, there are backpacks, and much more, as well as the great Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You can use this great Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee as your unusual Christmas gift in this year of 2024. I am sure a lot of your friends and relatives will appreciate getting a packet of the great Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. But let's talk some sports as we start as usual with birthdays. Yesterday, uh, Sunshine Girl Romelda Aiken celebrated her birthday. She is currently in Jamaica, as a matter of fact, in that Horizon series against England. And today, Tony Ann Williams, former gymnast, she celebrates today. Also, West Indies and Antigua cricketer Alzari Joseph celebrates today. Tomorrow, Ian Pepe Goodison, former reggae boy, World Cup star, part of that 1998 Jamaica World Cup team, he celebrates a birthday. Our current reggae boy captain, Andre Blake, celebrates today. Happy
Oh,
birthday. Also, Shamira Sterling, Sunshine Girl, again, she's in Jamaica right now to play in that Horizon series against England, celebrating birthdays today. On Saturday, the Sub 10 King, Asafa Powell, celebrates a birthday. So too Kevin Sinclair, current West Indies cricketer. And on Monday, Stephanie Ann McPherson, I think she is retired now as a track and field athlete, but she celebrates her birthday. One of our former athletes, Aline Bailey, celebrates on Monday, and one of my current Hall of Famers, Richard Staples, he celebrates a birthday on Monday. A lavish ceremony in Jamaica celebrating the Paris Olympians last night at the Terra Nova Hotel. Highlighting the evening was the presentation of cash awards to medalists. Gold medalist Roger Stoner received Jamaican $3 million. The silver medalists, Wayne Pinnock and Shanika Ricketts, $1.5 million. Bronze medalist Rajendra Campbell and Rashid Broadbell, $1 million, while rising star Jaden Hibbert, the Olympic Spirit Award winner, was awarded $500,000. And again, put the J beside the dollar, is Jamaican dollars.
You know, John, you need to start, converting this before you give out those numbers, because you know that when they use the phone and call their relatives overseas right now to Western Union some money to them, it's not gonna it's not gonna happen, right?
Well, and it's interesting you said that, Trevor. I did convert to jump to US dollars and came up with a number, and I think it was the 3 million came up to like 18 point something thousand US, which is
What?
a nice piece of change. you
John,
know,
you can't even buy Mercedes Benz in Jamaica.
you know, and I rounded the conversion rate at $159. So folks, put $3 million in your phone and divide by the 159, and you should come up to about that 18,000 US dollar figure. Moving right along, some track and field news. Olympian Tovia Jenkins, a former Mount Alvernia and Herbert Morrison High School athlete, has called time on her career, citing a persistent Achilles tendon injury for the retirement. With bachelor's degrees in economics and business, she says she is planning to pursue a master's degree in data analytics. And although she has retired as an athlete, she hopes to remain rather involved in track and field in one form or another. In cricket news, again, I want to remind you that my fellow Hall of Famer Leonard Chambers has a book out entitled Through the Years, My Life in Cricket, and it's still available on Amazon.
Okay.
Cricket West Indies named their squad for the two-test series against Bangladesh, November 22nd through December 4th. Game 1 will be played in Antigua, while Sabina Park will see a return to international cricket in Game 2. And the squad is Craig Brathwaite, captain, Joshua De Silva, vice captain, Alec Athanaze, Casey Carty, Justin Greaves, Kevin Hodge, KVM Hodge rather, Tevin Imlach, Alzari Joseph, Shamar Joseph, Mikel Louis, Anderson Phillip, Kemar Roach, Jaden Seals, Kevin Sinclair, and Jomel Warikand.
Are these all local people, John, or is there any imports?
Well, they're all from one Caribbean island or the other.
Okay.
It's the West Indies team
Okay.
for the game against Bangladesh, the two-test series against Bangladesh.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Dwayne Gill, the former Windward Islands Cricket Board president and former Cricket West Indies director, is now the Cricket West Indies high performance manager, replacing Graham West. He was the manager of the successful West Indies under-19 team at the 2016 World Cup. Congratulations, Dwayne Gill. And the Bangladesh West Indies select 11 two-day tour match at Coolidge Cricket Ground ended in a draw. Bangladesh 257 for 7 declared, the West Indies 11 87 for 9. Of course, now it's on to the first test at the Sir Viv Richards Stadium in Antigua, which bowls off on Friday. Well, rain had the last word in the fifth and final West Indies-England T20 series, as it ended in a no result. West Indies were batting at the time, and they were 45 without loss after 5 overs. Evan Lewis on 29 not out, Shea Hope on 14 not out. England, of course, won the series 3-1 with this one no result. As far as player rankings following this series, Shea Hope moved up 16 spots to 21st in batting, while Robman Powell jumped one spot to 33rd. On the other side of the scale, both Nicholas Pooran and Brandon King slipped 3 spots in batting, Pooran to 12th, Brandon King to 16th.
Question for you, John. You said that the game was called because of rain, bad weather. I mean, is there any move towards making some of these having some indoor grounds for cricket?
Hmm.
In
The question is,
just like we have forest, where rain does not really factor into it because it's
when
on
you're
many
talking about
occasions.
you're talking about a covered stadium now, Trevor.
Yes, yes.
And I are there any covered stadiums? I'm not sure. I'll have to investigate that one. If there are
Okay.
any, if there are any covered stadiums around the world, actually,
Yeah.
you might find that in somewhere like Dubai or a Sharjah where the oil money doesn't spoil and they can afford to build something like that, But I am going to investigate to see if there are any covered stadiums, and there are some people who I can ask about that.
I say that, because with the upcoming World Cup in the United States and the fact that cricket will be a part of the Olympics, it would be a rather distressing if when games are scheduled, sold out, and then the rain comes uninvited, never bought a ticket, and everybody has to go home with a ticket and never watch a game.
Yeah, well, I guess that's part of the fun in cricket, and there are no refunds,
Well, that's
because
my
once
point.
again, there is not a rain date, so to speak, in cricket.
Yeah,
Once the game is called, it's called.
yeah.
Anyway, Trevor, just moving along. Barbados and West Indies cricketers Jason Holder and Kyle Mayers have signed with the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders for the 2025 International League series set to bowl off in January. And Cricket West Indies Super 50 head into the knockout round now. And today at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force and the Barbados Pride game actually is in progress. Before I go to some scores in that game, the Pride have the services of Ruston Chase returned, and he was previously unavailable because of duty with the West Indies team against England. They, however, lose the services of Captain Kyle Mayers and Kadeem Clark, who have been granted leave for the Abu Dhabi T10 tournament.
Mm.
Raymond Reefer has taken over as captain as the Pride added Cheyenne Brathwaite to their squad. And Barbados put up a big score in their turn at bat, scoring 339 for 7 from their 50 overs.
That's a lot of runs.
A lot of runs. Zachary McCaskey, 94, and Lanika Bosha, 69. And they shared in an opening partnership of 142. Mark Dial, 4 for 53 from 10 overs for the Red Force. Red Force currently 102 for 5 after 20.4 overs. The Guyana Global Super League, scheduled for November 6th through December 7th, is being looked at as an interesting series. The Guyana Amazon Warriors will host the Hampshire Hawks, the Lahore Qalandars, and Rajpur Riders and Victoria. The Warriors open against Lahore Qalandars on November 26th. And it should be an interesting series. It's the first country to put on, Caribbean country that is, to put on a series like this, Trevor.
Okay.
And it really should be quite interesting. Moving along to some football, soccer, if you live here in the U.S., Jamaica knocked out of the CONCACAF Nations League after losing the return leg of the quarterfinal tie to the U.S. 4-2 in St. Louis, Missouri on Monday night, therefore losing the series 5-2.
You know, John,
This
just before I kick off on that, Jamaica losing 42. I was watching the reporting going on with on the match. And they really was treating Jamaica as a team that was far less than the US after this game was over, that the US dominated this, and Jamaica never should have even scored the 2 goals that they did because it's done because they let down. That's not that doesn't sound like the reggae boys that we're accustomed to, John.
Trevor, I look at two sides of this coin. Most of the players who are in the squad for our Jamaica team today are people not born in Jamaica, players.
Yeah.
And as I have said before and feel that our Jamaica Football Federation have taken the easy route in our football by going across the pond to get players instead of developing our youngsters from birth, so to speak. Because we see in our Manning and the Costa Cup competitions that we have some talented 15 and 16-year-olds in the competition. Of course, they go on to 19, some of them. Yet, as I say, it's a two-edged sword. On the other side of the coin, so to speak, as you know, it takes a lot of money
Yes.
to run a football team, a football club. And with, if you want to call it, a lack of corporate sponsorship then in Jamaica.
Yeah.
The federation have but so much money to run the different competitions, both male and female, and age groups.
Yes.
So how do we go about developing our young, talented players that by the time they reach, say, 17, you're looking at them as being able to sign a professional contract with some
Okay.
club outside of Jamaica?
Yes.
I mean, even our Premier League clubs in Jamaica, even them, they need money
Yes.
to really attract players, and where players can earn a decent living then, so to speak.
Okay.
And so it comes down to dollars and cents.
Yeah, but
They don't have the money to
they have been referring to sports tourism down in Jamaica now.
Hmm.
When I think the last time they presented their budget, and because when they talk about tourism, you normally hear about how many people visit the island, not how much money was actually spent in the island.
Mhm.
We see a lot of picture of the Minister of Tourism smiling all over the place, getting a lot of citations for the visitation. But you
Mhm.
have to wonder if he's being rewarded because so many people are coming to Jamaica, but the money is not coming with them because
Mhm.
we know that when a cruise ship comes in with 3,000 people and lands in Falmouth and they comes off, one, the ticket that they paid to come on that cruise ship was bought overseas, and that money does not come to Jamaica.
Mhm.
That money goes to Wall Street. Okay. So bragging about how many people come to the island when the money is not coming seems to be not a good brag.
And I suppose even when you buy uh or you go to a travel agency here then,
Yes.
because you want to go and spend maybe a week at some resort or other.
Uh-huh.
The travel agency here that gets that money. That
That's right.
money is not all you get. The way you get there now is a bed and whatever. Now, when you get to the hotel, I know they have a lot of them have different little packages that you can purchase, like to go and visit, like the falls, or, to Rios or something like that,
Mm.
or go to the Blue Mountain then for a day trip or something. But then the question is, who gets that money?
Well,
You might pay to the hotel, but does that money stay there or it travels out of Jamaica?
not if you use a credit card, that money has a visa to Miami.
Well, there you go.
Because remember now, when you use a credit card, it does not matter what part of the world you are. When you put that credit card in, it goes back to the original source. And
Hmm.
and I do not think there's an original source for any credit card in Jamaica.
Unless you have a Jamaica credit card from
Well,
a bank.
no, we're talking about maybe Grace Financial or something, or or which, you know, or their app,
Yeah.
which might be resident in Jamaica, which allows you to maybe, well, as a matter of fact, it's not even that, because even when you get that, it allows you to shop overseas.
Mm.
Okay, and when you shop with the card online, then the money is leaving online and the product is coming back, and but by the delivery truck. So we need a real examination of how the sports tourism is working in some places. Okay,
Hmm.
because they do talk about sports tourism. I just like to talk about health, sports health, and all of those things in Jamaica. But the diaspora does not have any information on it, which means that maybe it's all talk, bag of mouth.
And you talk about sports tourism, Trevor, but the question is perhaps really, do those who are talking sports tourism down there understand how impactful and what kind of a money maker
Yeah,
sports is,
yes,
you know? But and until they understand the value of sports, I mean, you look at the um stadium that was built for the 2007 World Cup,
uh-huh.
and what is it now? They're tying out cow in the pasture now. It's not, is it not being used? Look at the one in Montego Bay, the complex there.
Uh-huh.
I understand they were parking even cars there, but now the people who run the Montego Bay United football team now are trying to get some agreement now, I guess, with the government or whoever to take over that property, some kind of lease and develop it,
Yes.
so that and because of that lack of foresight, that that would have that didn't keep that complex usable.
Mhm.
Even the track and field meets in that area of the country now, they have to be going to GC Foster College, traveling across the country,
Oh boy.
where the cost, high schools have to bear that cost if they want to participate in the meet, which
Yeah.
is the Milo meet,
Okay.
you know. So it's good to see the folks who now trying to get a lease, and part of the plan is to redevelop the complex, that like track meets can come back to Montego Bay,
Because when
and
when
and
they
major
develop that, they develop
major
the
football
community.
and major football too, because part of it part of the development with a football stadium, Trevor, is the lighting. The lighting has to meet a certain standard in order
Yes.
to host
Qualified.
international football.
Yeah.
So I think all those things are in the plan for that Montego Bay complex. But and a lot of us are hoping that it can come back to its former
Yeah.
glory. Then,
Yes. Yes.
just
Yes.
moving on quickly, we haven't left that 4-2 loss by our reggae boys. This is the first. Was the first loss in any Nations League game since 2019. Abroad, Jamaica has managed only 3 wins in 35 matches against the US,
Ooh.
but we need to change that equation.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes.
We need to change that equation. Anyway, Coach Stephen McLaren says despite being knocked out of the Nations League, they'll use the experience as a valuable stepping stone toward qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Anyway, next up for Jamaica are the CONCACAF Gold Cup preliminaries scheduled for March 2025. And CONCACAF has announced the format for the prelims. 14 teams will have to earn spots in the preliminary round in a home and away playoff.
Okay.
Which will determine the final 7 teams to join the 5 already qualified for the Gold Cup group stage. CONCACAF has ranked the 14 teams from 1 to 4. So the matchups for the Gold Cup preliminaries look like this. Costa Rica, ranked number 1, will take on Belize, ranked 14th. Jamaica, ranked 2nd, will take on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, ranked 13th. Honduras, ranked 3rd, plays Bermuda, ranked 12th.
Okay.
Guatemala, ranked 4th, takes on Guyana, ranked 11th. Trinidad and Tobago, 5th ranked, will play Cuba, 10th ranked. Martinique, 6th ranked, will take on Suriname, ranked 9th, while Nicaragua, ranked 7th, plays Guatemala, ranked 8th. A change to the citizenship laws in Trinidad and Tobago is being reviewed by the government, and if the proposal goes through, I think the result would impact their football tremendously.
Oh.
The proposed change currently under discussion would allow foreign-based players with Trinidad and Tobago born grandparents to represent the Twin Island Republic.
Oh, grandparents.
As the current constitution reads, to become a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, at the time of birth, at least one of the parents has to be a Trinidad and Tobago citizen.
Oh.
If the Constitution adds grandparents, then the player pool for the new Trinidad and Tobago football coach, Dwight York, would expand significantly.
Okay, so you're looking at dual citizenship there.
Grandma sweet like sweet 16, Trevor. The grandparents are now part. The Trinidad are trying to make that part of the equation for citizenship.
Well, they do have a large Trinidad diaspora, and I'm sure that they.
Yeah, but I think they are looking at like how Jamaica looks at Europe.
Yes.
Where they can find players probably who can make the team.
Okay.
Yeah. Another unfortunate football incident following Friday's CONCACAF Nations League match in which Honduras defeated Mexico 2-0. Following the final whistle, while Mexico's coach Javier Aguirre was walking to shake the hand of Honduras' coach Reynaldo Ruda, he was hit by a full can of beer. The coach left the field with blood streaming down his face.
Wow.
CONCACAF have taken action against Honduras for failing to implement adequate stadium security measures.
Oh boy.
They will also play their next home game behind closed doors.
Oh boy. Did they catch any? Did they get any fingerprints of that beer?
Well, and I wonder if maybe if cameras maybe could pick up
Yeah.
through that can towards the coach.
And,
Or
and I'm sure if they put up a couple $1,000 reward, not in Jamaican dollars, of course, you know, they might get
Mhm.
some
Yeah.
somebody who actually would objected to the action in the stands might find it
Enticing.
enticing.
Another friend of mine said in one of his songs, you know, throw me can, but me no can afford.
Look.
Anyway, Trevor, let's move on to schoolboy football semi-final round taking place in Jamaica. The Costa Cup first semi-final. Ocho Rios will play McGrath. Glenmuir plays Gavi Maceo. Ocho Rios is the first high school in St. Anne to advance to the semi-final of the Costa Cup, and they are also qualified for the Champions Cup.
Okay.
In Ben Francis, which is the other major schoolboy football tournament in rural Jamaica, Cornwall and Happy Grove in a 1-1 stalemate. Cornwall advanced 5-4 on penalty shootout. Manchester and Din Hill Tech also in a 2-2 stalemate. Manchester advanced 5-4 on penalty shootout. Clarendon College, the Costa Cup champions, they defeated Kemps Hill 3-1, while Denby High over Alphonsus Davis 2-0. The winners here await the Costa Cup quarterfinal round losers for the next round of the Ben Francis Cup scheduled for Thursday. Manning Cup semifinal, Jamaica College takes on St. Catherine. Kingston College plays Hydel. So there could be a round 2 for Jamaica College and Kingston College. Jamaica College defeated Kingston College 3-1 in the quarterfinal setup. Now in Walker Cup, the quarterfinals this afternoon, Excelsior takes on Eltham while Mona plays San Diego. And apart from Olivia Shield, Trevor, that the Manning and the Costa Cup winners settle, the other big schoolboy tournament in Jamaica is the Champions Cup, that the top 4 Manning and the Costa Cup teams settle. The quarterfinal draw took place yesterday, and it is Hydel will be going up against Gavi Maceo. Ocho Rios plays St. Catherine. Jamaica College plays McGrath, while Glenmuir plays Kingston College. The game scheduled for Friday and Saturday. The semifinal for next Wednesday and the final scheduled for Saturday, November 30th. Glenmuir, of course, seem to be the favorites to win this year's the Costa Cup. So Kingston College will certainly have their hands full.
Yeah.
Let us swing over to high school football in Trinidad and Tobago, where Miracle Ministries Pentecostal High School took the double by winning both boys and girls Central Zone titles. The boys defeated Chaguanas North Secondary 4-2 to win the Central Coca-Cola Boys Intercal title at the Atto Bowling Stadium. Kyle Holder was named player of the match, while the Miracle Ministries girls defeated Holy Faith Convent Vancouver 8-1 at the
Oh,
same venue.
so which team wear the shorts at that school, John?
Which school? Say that again, please,
I
Trevor.
mean, the girls beat the 1-8-1, and the boys sort of, squeaked through the gate.
It just shows one school was superior
So,
in that 8-1 defeat. the boys game probably, well, it was a closer contest, of course.
okay.
Shifting to Jamaica Premier League action, results from last week: Montego Bay United 4-0 over Racing, Harbourview and Cavalier in a 0-0 stalemate, Vere and Tivoli in a 2-2 stalemate, Arnett Gardens 1-0 over Portmore, Waterhouse 2-0 over Humble Lion, Mullines United win their second game, defeating Dunbeholden 2-0, while Chapelton Maroons and Mount Pleasant in a 1-1 stalemate. There is a midweek game which pits Tivoli against Harbourview, while Dunbeholden, the midweek game is Racing against Cavalier and Dunbeholden against Tivoli. This weekend, Tivoli plays Harbourview, Mount Pleasant plays Montego Bay United, Humble Lion takes on Dunbeholden, Portmore plays Waterhouse, Cavalier plays Chapelton Maroons, Mullines United plays Racing, and Arnett Gardens against Vere. The Jamaica Premier League have a new 3-year sponsorship deal in their pocket with Sunshine Snacks. As part of the deal, Sunshine Snacks will also become the designated club sponsor for Montego Bay United.
Okay.
Expect to see Sunshine Snacks at all Jamaica Premier League games. Now, here's the SosoBone question for you, Trevor. You know, in Jamaica, when you go to the National Stadium, to Sabina Park, to any stadium that is holding an event, the little peanut and biscuit vendor in the stands selling their goods. I wonder how, with Sunshine Snacks at all the venues now, how it's going to impact the little peanut man.
Put them out to work, John. Put them out to work. Unless, John, they could make more money if they now are employed by Cookie Snacks to sell their product in the stands.
Or will the little peanut vendor now, do they still have access to come in the stands to sell their products too, along with the Sunshine Snack?
That is it's whether or not Sunshine Snacks have exclusive snack territories in the stand.
There you go.
Well, John, I would hold my breath on that because, based on how we like to do, we like to do some contracts down in the islands, John, that is exclusive to the bone. From electricity to water to rice to chicken back.
Neck and back. My favorite Sunday dinner, neck and back. Yeah. But we'll have to see how that one shakes out.
Yes, I'll have to ask my deep diving friend to go dive into that one. Because somewhere along the line, we're going to hear that he's a politician who owns the snack. Well, no, let's keep that out of the sports.
Leave that out of the sports. I mean, Trevor, it's like here in New York, now they have passed this law where you have to use these special garbage cans to put out. The question is, I wonder who manufactures those garbage cans.
Yes, and who is picking it up, John?
Who is picking up?
That is, you see, what they're not saying, John, is that the company who is picking up the composting bins is actually a biofuel company.
Hmm.
It's all about taking your waste and turn it into energy.
Yeah.
And so you're supplying free raw material.
Mm-hmm.
You're supplying free more material for them to take to their machinery and convert it, John. But
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna force you to do it. Actually
Hmm.
fine you if you do not separate it so that the company who's making all that biofuel can have an easier job at it done.
Hmm.
Politics.
The politics have changed. Anyway, Trevor, let's go across the ocean to my favorite country, Africa, and the African Nations Cup, for short, AFCON, where
Mm,
Egypt and Botswana played. It was 1-1 stalemate. Mauritania, 1-0 over Cape Verde. Ivory Coast, 4-0 over Chad. Zambia, 2-0 over Sierra Leone. Tanzania, 1-0 over Guinea. Ethiopia, 2-1 over Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Mozambique, 2-1 over Guinea-Bissau. And every time I see Mozambique, it reminds me of that great player that they call the Black Panther of Mozambique, Eusebio, who played for
mm,
Portugal. you know.
mm.
Mali 6-0 over Eswatini. Cameroon 2-1 over Zimbabwe. Kenya and Namibia in a 0-0 stalemate. Uganda 1-0 over Congo. South Africa 3-0 over South Sudan. Senegal 2-0 over Burundi. Comoros 1-0 over Madagascar. Gambia 1-0 over Tunisia. Gabon and Central Africa Republic in a 1-1 stalemate. Morocco 7-0 over Lesotho. Libya and Benin in a 0-0 stalemate. Rwanda 2-1 over Nigeria. Niger 2-1 over Ghana. Sudan and Angola in a 0-0 stalemate, while Malawi defeated Burkina Faso 3-0. And
Mm.
coming back this side, going a little bit south, if you may, to South America World Cup qualifiers, Argentina 1-0 over Peru. Chile 4-2 over Venezuela, and Brazil and Uruguay in a 1-1 stalemate. Let's travel back across the waters, Trevor, to UEFA Nations League action. Ukraine, 2-1 over Albania.
Mm.
Although they are in a war against Russia now, the football team is still in action.
Oh, yes.
The Czech Republic, 2-1 over Georgia. Sweden, 6-0 over Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Netherlands in a 1-1 stalemate. I was watching that game. It was a very interesting game.
Mm.
Hungary and Germany in a 1-1 stalemate. Montenegro, 3-1 over Turkey. And Wales defeated Iceland 4-1.
Mm.
And, English Premier League returns this weekend. Because of the FIFA break last weekend, there was no English Premiership games. However,
Okay.
Ruben Amorim has taken reins as Manchester United's boss now, as interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy departs. And Ruben's first game will be on Sunday, an away game to Ipswich Town.
Okay.
Netball news, Jamaica Sunshine Girls and English Roses are in Jamaica for the final 2 games of their Vitality Netball Horizon Series scheduled for November 25th and 26th. The Roses come to Jamaica with a 1-goal lead after winning game 2, 55-47. Game 1 ended in a 49-49 tie. The girls, however, Trevor, they need to tighten up their ball handling in the 2 games in Jamaica. If they want to win the series, they have been a bit careless in the first 2 games.
Mm.
Mark you, our netball team has not played for quite a while, I think since last year's World Championship. So, they're maybe a bit rusty with real game conditions, game
Yes,
time
yes,
playing.
yes.
And it's one of the unfortunate things about netball in the Caribbean that the other Caribbean islands do not have and currently have the kind of netball team now to challenge the Sunshine Girls. And in
Okay.
order for the Sunshine Girls to get real competition,
They
they
have to
have
have.
to jump on a plane to England, to Australia, or to New Zealand. And I am really looking forward to the day when um, our Caribbean teams become more competitive with the Jamaica Sunshine Girls. Meanwhile, after an absence of 3 years, Netball Jamaica has finally set a date for an annual general meeting. First Vice President Simone Forbes has confirmed December 14th as the next annual general meeting. All Netball Jamaica positions, including president and directorship roles, are up for re-election. We still haven't heard if incumbent President Tricia Robinson, who is serving her second term, is running for re-election. First Vice President Simone Forbes says the board is looking at processes to ensure that the sport is governed well, and not having an annual general meeting this long does not reflect this. In tennis news, the illustrious career of 22-time Grand Slam winner Rafael Nadal of Spain has ended after being beaten 6-4, 6-4 by Dutchman Botic van Zandschulp in the best-of-3 Davis Cup quarterfinal tie in Malagua. In his farewell, Nadal said he's not tired of playing tennis, but that his body doesn't want to play anymore.
Okay. Well, they, got- they have to sit down and settle that.
But you ever wonder, Trevor, why some athletes continue to compete way past their prime, and even while losing, try to convince themselves that they still have it? Or do some just continue to compete because they love playing or they
Well,
love
you
competing?
have to say that sports, John, is like a good marriage.
Is it? Hey, Trevor, I have to be careful when when I say those kind of things, because you know, because I celebrate for all being well, I'll celebrate 44 years next year.
Well, yeah. Maybe because you love it.
You know, you know, but Rafael Nadal in his 22 Grand Slam championships, it includes 2 Australian Opens, 14 French Opens. Of course, he was called the king of clay court. He has won 2 Wimbledons and 4 US Opens.
We do not
Shifting gears.
we do not seem to be hearing much about the clay courts versus the grass courts as we dig back in the days of Billie Jean King, John.
And that's it. Yeah, but the clay court, they play in Australia, not out in France. It's the French Open is on clay.
Okay.
So I guess I have to presume that most tennis courts are grass these days.
Uh-huh.
Mm. Anyway, just let's shift gears now to some punch up in boxing. As 27-year-old Jake Paul, in a dull points win over 58-year-old former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson Friday night at the Dallas A&T Stadium. The fight was 8 rounds, 2 minutes per round. It showed that no matter how great you were in your prime at 58, it's a total different ball game going up
Yes.
against a 20-year-old.
Well,
And
John, 60 million people watch that fight.
Trevor, that is what I find even more interesting, or should I say amazing. The fight set betting records at sports box, becoming the most heavily wagered upon fight in years. The majority of the bets were on Tyson at 2-1 underdog, while the largest bets were placed on Paul, including a $1 million bet, Trevor.
Wow.
One judge had it 80-72, while two saw it 79-73 in favor of Jake Paul.
Mm.
And Mike Tyson last stepped into the ring in a professional bout in 2005,
20 years ago.
Yeah. And Paul, well, this is Paul's 11th win in 12 fights. And the blemish now on Tyson's record is his 7th loss in 57 bouts.
No, no, no. I don't think he had a blemish. I think he just made himself about $200 million.
you know, but I tell you, can you imagine, Trevor? Now I hear
I mean,
rumors that if Evander Holyfield want to have a Tyson fight
well,
again.
listen. I mean, Netflix made a killing um on this promotion of this fight, John. And you have to say that the age, the new, the expanded age of digital broadcasting and cable networks, because they're not finished making money off this fight, John. This, this just started.
Who knows?
Because when you say it's only 60 million people that watched it, by the time it's India
Hmm.
and China, you know, and places that would not allow people to stream into their country, okay?
Well, and Trevor, to say that gambling is big business is an understatement.
All right, okay, that's right.
You know.
That's right. And a lot and a lot of liquor was sold that night, John. I mean,
And it's amazing how these casinos, Trevor. The kind I know I have a friend, Trevor,
mhm.
who travels to Atlantic City at least once a month just to
Okay.
gamble.
Well, some people go to Vegas
Some go to Vegas,
just to lose their shirt.
and we have one here at Aqueduct.
Oh, yes.
I tell you, I remember years ago, we went down to the Bahamas with some friends, and one night they said, let's go to the casino. And Trevor, I take out my $20 and got some coins.
Uh-huh.
And my wife, she took out her $20 and got some coins. And
Okay.
I went to one machine and I played my machine. And all of a sudden I hear ching 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 ching.
Your wife got your coins?
No, money just running out of my machine.
Oh, that was your machine.
So yeah. So what I did, I count out my $20 because I'm not leaving broke. And next thing I see, my wife comes over, I need some more money. I say, well, here's some.
There's some, this is, you don't know what to do with it, okay?
You know, and when I left that, I just went back and handed them the $20 and get my $20 and leaving broke.
And you had your fun.
Yes, lots of fun. And my wife had fun too.
Yes.
You know, but it's interesting how people, you know, this pie in the sky,
Well,
you know,
you
it
know,
goes further though, Trevor, in buying lotta too,
oh yes, well, it is said that there are a lot of people out there training to who are out there training to run against Usain Bolt, John. No, you know they know that they couldn't win. Uh, so,
So
so,
true.
so the guy in the casino, he said he had a better chance of winning than the guy running against Usain Bolt.
Tell you. Anyway, Trevor, let me close with this. On a balmy autumn evening in baseball, can the Yankees keep Juan Soto, or will he sing the four-top song, LA, my town, I love you? Those sandy shores and sandy streets, window shop in Hollywood.
Well, I would
And
say
on that note,
in regards to that, John, that from George Steinbrenner left and gave, the team to his son. Was it 20 years ago since the Yankees won a championship, John?
not quite. 2009 was their last championship.
Okay.
Mm.
And the Jeters are gone, and the Podolskis are gone, and they have the Judges now, and yes, they did make a run, but the rest of the rest of the league is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because when you look at the fact that was it 1 and 2 that end up playing the best in the East versus the best in the West?
But Trevor, the Yankees have not really put a good team on the field in a little while.
Right.
You have Judge, then they got Soto, and now they have this young Anthony Volpe, who seems not a bad shortstop. And outside of that, really, outside of that is really pitching. They lack
Well,
pitching,
John, I'll say this. The Dodgers
pitching.
the Dodgers have a 50-50, John.
Mm.
Who next year might also pitch.
Yeah, you know, and Sutter just might want to be hitting in front of him.
Well, that is my point.
You know,
When you have a 50-50, after a while, you really want to win a championship. You just don't want to get paid. Okay. You also want to win a championship. We have seen that in other sports,
well, Sutter has already won a championship. He won last year.
Yes.
So and he come to the Yankees this year, and they came close. He get to another World Series.
Yes, close.
But he didn't win.
Well,
And but we'll see. I understand. I think the Mets might be the crossover rivals, might be in the bid too for Sato.
well, the Mets have money that can't done.
Yeah, but and I suppose with Sato after winning a championship last year, 2023, that is a question now of your future.
Yes.
You're not too interested in winning a championship anymore, so to speak. I mean, if one comes along, you'll take it. But it's more if the dollars go run.
Take the money to the and no matter how good you are in New York, John, if you don't go down, you'd say if you don't march down the Valley of Heroes in Manhattan, John, if you don't go,
It's interesting you said that. I look at Aaron Judge.
yeah,
Yeah, he hit 50 some home runs.
he has
And he
gone
hit
down.
he hit 60 something couple of years ago. But where's the championship?
If he has not marched down the valley, the valley of heroes in
You
Manhattan,
see,
John,
Trevor, the ring is very important, you know.
yes,
You
you
know.
know, if you don't do that World Cup celebration in Manhattan, going down the valley of heroes,
That's right.
then you're always dreaming.
With all that confetti.
Yes, if you don't have
Yeah.
that confetti raining down on you, you
Hmm.
know, you're always dreaming about it.
Hmm.
Always dreaming.
But and I don't know what moves the Yankees will make this year. Or if they make an attempt to try and keep Sutter, but they need pitching. They need pitching.
Yes.
I remember the days, Trevor, when pitchers go 7, 8 innings,
Yeah.
sometimes 9.
No, it's
Now the
five and
Yankees
done.
talking about if they can get to 5 and
If
then
they can
go
get
to
to
the
five.
bullpen. What kind of nonsense is that?
I mean, we talk about guys like Carlton and Ryan and I mean, what? Schilling was the guy.
Well, my favorite was from St. Louis, you know. One they called Bob Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
He
But
was
that's,
my favorite pitcher, you know, Bob
yeah, but,
Gibby.
yeah. The guy named Randy Johnson, going
Yeah,
out
but and
there
you had
and,
Tom Seaver and those guys who
yes,
came along, you know.
you know,
But Ron Guidry, who pitched for the
Gridley,
Yankees 3 years ago.
Dwight,
Um,
Dwight Gooden, Cohen,
yeah,
it's Cohen. Oh, man. No, the Yankees does not set New York on fire like in the 70s and the 80s, John. When you had
and
when you had Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson fighting as to who is the top dog in the dugout.
you know, I read you say, I'm the straw that stirs the drink. You know, and of course he proved that he's the straw that stirs the drink.
Yes. You
Yeah,
had
but
Nick.
they and maybe they need a little more flavor in the dugout.
Yep. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. You know, and because we do not hear them, you know, we do not hear them talking about the Yankees in the community like they used to, and talking about Subway Series. I mean, even though the Mets were in the playoff, the Subway Series was not really cooking,
Hmm.
you know.
Well, in a sense, yes, it was a Subway Series, you know, with the Dodgers.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, because the Dodgers are still remembered as being the Brooklyn Dodgers,
Brooklyn Dodgers.
you know,
Yeah. Emmett Field.
Emmett Field. But other sports have really picked up steam, you know. They bringing the Nets to Brooklyn, gave Brooklyn a little bit of punch,
Yeah, but
again.
they have not really set the Nets have not really set basketball on fire, you know.
No, but you see, but when they brought Kevin Durant in and Kyrie, you know, and
But they
and
never
then
do
and
nothing.
James Harden, then
Yeah.
it gave them the type of branding, even though those players left, but it brought them back to the branding table. Okay.
Yes.
And so they had a lot of games on national television, a lot of,
Mhm.
because of the players that they had standing on the court, you know. So, they say you only have to win one championship and that take it for about 25 years. I
Hmm.
mean, the Knicks are still trying to win a championship, and John, that's a long time. Okay.
Yeah, but the
But
Nets have not even gotten a sniff, you know. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. But the Knicks have gotten a little bit of punch right now, with the guys they have. They have some blue collar workers there on the team.
Yeah, but they're after a slow start to Trevor.
Yes,
Yeah, and I suppose because you bring in new players, you have to give them time to gel.
yes. I
You
mean,
know,
it normally take a year or
so
two.
maybe in the second half of the season, you'll see them
They'll
really
be, they, they, they,
start.
they, they'll be chasing But but they have some blue collar workers. That's they know, and that gonna resonate well with the you know with the community because
Mm-hmm.
because I mean Townsend came in with a good brand, a good name as a workhorse. You don't have to give up some good players too, but you know he is he fits well in into Brooklyn. In it fits well into New York. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he fits well into New York, and and he doesn't have a track record of getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a thing about players. When they get hurt and the team is losing, then it seems to rest on that hurt player's shoulders. Like he needs to go train more. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. You know, and there are quite a few teams out there who have you know invested in players and they just keep on getting hurt, John.
Yeah.
You know, just keep on getting hurt. So
Like
it's
Yankees.
yes,
Season start the year, this one hurt, that one hurt. So,
yes.
but I wonder, in the Yankees case, if if it's your off-season program that caused them to get hurt so often during the season.
Well, they're always looking at switching trainers, not just managers. They
Yeah.
always look switching trainers, trying to get people who are really into sports health. How to get the players to recover. I mean, when
Mm-hmm.
I came to this country the first time, I saw Ron Guidry pitching, and after he finished pitching, they put in 40 pounds of ice on his shoulder. I was like, whoa. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not accustomed to having being iced down after we did things in our country. Okay. But they
Mm-hmm.
knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're packing ice on his shoulder and he's sitting there and like, okay. So some of those things, takes a little while to catch up. Let's put it that way. There's
Mm-hmm.
a reason why we're sending our athletes to Germany, also from Jamaica when they get hurt. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Same reason because they seem to have a better handle on treating injury than some others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we will see what the future holds, John. We'll see what the
Yep.
future holds. But all being said and done, the political race was over, and now they didn't march down the Valley of Heroes as yet, but that's 2 months or 2.5 months down the road. Okay, let me say thank you so much, John, for spending time again with our viewers out there on John Sports Corner. And I hope that, they will remember, John, that you do have a, what's the name of that coffee?
Great Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee.
Okay. So tune
Yes.
into Winner Circle on the SosoBone Media Network. Drop over there and listen to Winner Circle on radio every Sunday evening from 5 to 7 on
Mm-hmm.
www.sosobone.com. Just go to SosoBone, listen live, and you can listen to Winner Circle with John and Conroy on SosoBone Radio. And of course, you go to the Winner Circle store and you can get Blue Mountain coffee, you can get sorrel, you can get rum cake, and you can get a thing we call bun. And like John like to say,
Yeah, and you get your mug. You can get the mug so that when you brew the coffee, you just throw the coffee in your mug.
yes, 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 and you get your Easter bun, and you say dunk it because bun can't done.
And so, the smell of the brew through the
Oh,
house, the
yes,
aroma
yes,
is something else.
yes.
Mm.
So it's Thanksgiving is just around the corner. So to all you viewers out there, again, www.sosobone.com to get your Blue Mountain coffee. And when you get your Blue Mountain coffee, you can there's a chat box right there on the website. You can just type into the chat, got my coffee on Winners Circle. Okay, and we will get your message right there on SosoBone.com. You can chat with us, you can send messages to us. There's a chat window there for you to leave your messages and your comment. So let me say thank you again for staying with us. We have gone over 4 million views in just 8-10 weeks, and we give you thanks for that, for sharing. We could never have done it without you, so thank you so much. And to the team down there, Key and Tristan and Troy and Theo and Junior, great job at putting out John Sports Corner. Like the intro, and I like the extra. Thank you so much. Thank you, John. Until the
Thank you,
next
sir.
week, we say, walk good. Walk good.
Adios.
Adios.